The last guest of the evening that I want to introduce you guys to, her name is Michelle, and as you guys will hear in her story, she's a very, very, very special woman. She's overcome. You guys can keep talking later. I love the talking. So Michelle has overcome a lot, and you guys are going to be blown away by her story. And I think I'll talk more about it after you guys hear it. I don't want to spoil anything. So Michelle, come on up. And Michelle's also in the documentary, so he's going to be moving the camera around a little bit.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Especially my Mamatone sisters. Thank you for being here. My name's Michelle, and Dustin asked me to speak tonight, and you know, I immediately said yes. In my professional world, I'm a lawyer, I'm a lobbyist. That's double speak for talking a lot and getting in people's faces, and so I thought this would be very comfortable, except for then I went home and realized that I was going to be talking about me, and that's a lot harder to do. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and spend a little time reading an email that I sent to Dustin a year and a half ago. And so note that if you send anything to Dustin, he keeps it because he sent that back to me. Some context, a year and a half ago I was, there I am, 44 pounds heavier, a lot weaker, several dress sizes bigger. I had a 3-week-old baby and I was on maternity leave. Thank you. And I was eating like I was still pregnant, and believe me, when I was pregnant, I ate for sport and did it well. But I was, again, home with my 3-week-old, and an email came from Dustin. I had been doing his Mamatone class after the birth of my second daughter, and, well, you'll hear my story from my response to his email. So April 11th, 8 p.m., I responded to how to exercise during and after pregnancy. And sometimes there's a reason emails come at the right time. So, hi Dustin, thanks for this email posting. It was perfect timing for me. I'm hoping to come back to your class this week and looking forward to it. It's been over a year since I was in your class. A year and a half ago, I joined Mamatone with you at Supreme after I had my second baby. I worked out with you several times a week during my maternity leave. It was great. Unfortunately, when I went back to work full-time and having 2 little ones at home, it was hard to find time for me, and so I didn't make it back to your class. I had my 3rd baby girl 3 weeks ago and plan to come back to your class during this maternity leave, and I promised myself to continue at some level once back at full-time work. I'm eager to return to your class for the physical health, and perhaps more importantly right now, mental health. I found that working out generally, and your class specifically, provided me with both better physical health, but great mental health attitude and outlook. I share this information for you not for posting on your blog or email, but so you know where I'm coming from and what I'm dealing with. A few months ago, when I was 4 months pregnant with our 3rd child, my husband and love of my life, Joe, was killed in a car accident. In addition to the emotional devastation, as you might imagine, having any time for me is non-existent. My daughters are blessings and keep me going and keep me with a focus. Sarah, age 4, Kelsey, 19 months, and Johanna, Joey, 3 weeks. They're also hard work, and I try to give them everything they need. I want to get back into a workout routine and feel good and protect the time for me. I'm hopeful to get started right away because I don't want to go the other direction and use my situation as an excuse. I've received your emails all this time and hope there would be the right time to come back. And for me, now is that time. I have pregnancy weight to lose, and longer term, I want to get in better health than I was in pre-pregnancy. So I hope to see you this week, Michelle. So here I am, a year and a half later, not the most weight in the room. I can't do a pull-up on my own, and I really rebel when I hear Dustin announce that that's what we're doing for the day. But the Mamatoners here can confirm that I've stuck with my commitment to myself. I show up. I show up even though Joey didn't sleep through the night for her first full year of life. I show up even when a song on the radio jettisons me to another world and I can't control the tears. I show up even though I work full-time, and many weeks that's more than 50 hours. I show up after a hell of a fight getting 3 girls under 6, diapered, dressed, breakfast, lunch packed, bundled up, and 3 different drop-off places. I show up because it's the one thing I do for me and for them. And I'm not here to tell you I'm some kind of rock star super mom. I'm not. I have many people in my network that support me. I'm not unlike every working mom who constantly feels like you're not doing enough at work and you're not doing enough at home with your kids. But I made the commitment to myself, and I really did it on behalf of my girls, to make health and fitness an absolute routine of my life. I block the time on my work calendar. I tell my staff and my coworkers that I can't make their meeting because I'm going to work out. I prioritize it, and I never did that before. Mostly I show up because my almost 6-year-old asks me on somewhat frequent basis if I'm going to die early too. And I look her right in the eye, and I tell her I'm healthy and strong, and I'm doing everything I can do to make sure that I'm going to be around a long time. So again, I share this with you not to prove anything. I do it perhaps to inspire that if I can get there and show up, I'm pretty sure you can get there and show up too. And I say show up as if that's all there is to it, and I share Amy's venting about sometimes what that class is like. That class kicks my butt. Man, and I like to drop to my knees on those push-ups, and I started to do it today, and then I thought, man, they're filming me, I better get up on these push-ups. But Dustin, Abby, Alicia, I mean, they make you work. You just need to show up. So I want to thank you, Dustin. You know, I tell Dustin if I'm going to be on a business trip or if I'm going to be on a vacation, because I know if I don't show up for like 5 days, that he's going to be after me, and that's probably in part why I sent him the note, and that's in part what the relationship is. I want to thank everyone in that Mamatone class, because whether you realize it or not, I'm running in and out. Sometimes I don't socialize because I don't have time. Sometimes I don't socialize because it's hard. But you're part of my support network, whether you knew it or not, and that's really what's been transformative to me, is embracing a community that I thought was just a tangential part of my life, but making it such a strong part of my life. So whether you knew it or not, thank you. And congratulations to Dustin with the book and for touching so many lives. The goals you set for yourself are inspirational. Your drive and pursuit of your passion is admirable. I'm quite certain at 28 I was way more concerned about where the next tailgate was than how to change people's lives. Thank you, Dustin, and congratulations.
Oh man, she almost got me crying. Wow. So I think her story, I wanted to end with that because I hear so many excuses, and from people who just say, I don't have the time, I don't do this, I don't do that. I try to be nice to them and say, okay, I understand, you know. But like, I just want to like bring her story up every single time and say, what do you have that she hasn't gone through? And it's just so inspirational. Now, I had hoped to have your daughters here tonight, but because of I think bedtimes and stuff, so that's the best we're gonna get. But what I want to do, I thought, Michelle, you just encapsulate my vision for putting yourself first, being the least selfish thing you can do. So I was trying to figure out what I could do to help that along. And one of my things I love doing is creating memories for people. I hope I create memories during classes. I hope to inspire people to create their own memories. So what I wanted to do was give you a check for $2,000 for you to spend on your daughters and you to create more experiences. So the two things that all I ask is, one, you spend it on your daughters and you, creating memories, and then also figure out a way with your daughters to pay it forward. All right? All right, thanks. Okay. Oh boy, that was a tough one. So before we get to the dancing, I wanted to just kind of wrap things up, and I want to leave you with 1 or 2 messages, and I was trying to figure out which ones I wanted to share with you guys. And I decided on the story I wrote on my blog about 2 years ago. So for those of you who have been reading and listening for a while, you may have remembered the story. But it goes back to my 10th grade year. Embarrassing photo. Okay, so that's me, 10th grade. Yep. All right, so, I didn't have that much confidence. I had some friends. I wasn't like a loner, but I wasn't the most popular. And it was around prom time. Some of you guys remember this story. So there's this one girl, Ashley Kerr. She was the hottest girl. in the school, and every guy wanted her. But she also had good morals, so she wasn't like, sleeping around. And she had a really tight group of like 2 or 3 friends that she kind of stuck with. And she kind of had this like impenetrable wall that none of us guys could get through. And I had talked to her a few times. I kind of knew some of her friends. And it was well known the month before prom that she did not have a date for prom because her boyfriend, who lived in the Twin Cities, didn't want to go or couldn't go or whatever, but she wanted to go. So this was a dilemma because every guy in the school wanted to ask her out, but no one had the guts to ask her out. And so here I am, not too much confidence, and I was trying to figure out who I was going to invite. I didn't have a girlfriend. It's coming down to the wire. Everyone's asking, who are you going to ask out? And I was like, I don't know. And then I told my parents about this, and my parents are like very, very strict, okay? I mean, when there's rated R movies and you had to sign the waiver form, I'd have to be sitting out in the hallway. Or when there was sex ed, I'd have to be out in the hallway doing my homework. All right, so that's the type of family I grew up in, which is fine. I'm not bashing you. But I told them this, and I thought would say, oh, you shouldn't go to prom or something like that. They're like, well, why don't you ask her out? I was like, she's like the most popular girl. She probably hardly knows who I am. And they're like, well, this is my dad. I remember saying this. He's like, Dustin, he's like, you're a good guy. You deserve the best. Go ask her out. I was like, okay. So I thought about it, and he's like, you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen? I won't have her. Well, I wasn't going to have her anyways. So I wrote her this really long, like 2-page letter saying that I know you got a boyfriend, I'll respect you, I'll treat you well, and I probably said a bunch of other things I can't remember. And so I remember I had one class with her, we had a test that day. I give her the note before the test starts. It says, hey Ashley, would you like to go to prom with me? But before you answer this, please read this note. So she read the note, I think during the test sometime, and she didn't even talk to me right after. I was like, oh man. And she came up to me at the end of class, or at the end of school that day. She's like, I'll go out with you. I was like, yes. And then she just walked away. And I was like, okay. She was very shy as well. Well, word soon got out in my school. My school, it was 2,000 people, 10 through 12, so it's a pretty large school. It was 600, 700 per class. Word soon got out that I scored Ashley Kerr, and I became the celebrity of the school for at least a week. I had teachers, guy teachers, which probably is not a good thing. Guy teachers and coaches congratulating me. Seniors, giving me high fives and stuff. And so the week leading up to it, I was really nervous. And in that picture, I was 165 pounds. I'm close to 200 now, about the same height almost. And so I'm about 35 pounds lighter than that. And I lost 7 pounds that week because I couldn't eat because I was so nervous. Anyways, the event, I gotta show you a picture of her. All right, there we are, in the little ghetto limo. But anyway, so that's Ashley. She's married now. I don't really talk to her, but I Facebook stalk her once in a while. All right, so just joking, Ashley, if you're gonna watch this later. Her boyfriend's really buff, so I don't know if I could take him. Or her husband, I mean. Okay, so here I want to talk about 5 lessons that I learned from this event and that I want to leave you with. Crystal left some great things for you, so did all of you guys, Amy and Michelle. So most things great in life require taking a risk and a chance. If something is easy to do, it's probably not that exciting to do. If you want to really get in shape, if you want to get out of a bad relationship or get a promotion, there's going to be taking some steps in your life that aren't going to be comfortable, but you got to be willing to take that risk, take that chance. This was one of them that really sold me. Getting told no isn't really that big of a deal. Like I said, I didn't have Ashley before, I wouldn't have her again. I don't think too many guys would make fun of me for asking and getting rejected. They probably would respect me for having the balls to do it. So I was like, well, whatever, I'll do that. And then don't be afraid to ask. This is something I've really learned the last couple years, in business especially. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Again, the worst thing that they can say is no. And it's amazing what doors will open up when you ask certain questions. So don't be afraid to ask for things in your life. This one was a big one, and I see this a lot with a lot of my clients. I deserve the best, nothing but the best. And so many, men and women, we get it down on ourselves. We don't think that we're good enough. We find flaws in ourselves. We compare ourselves to other people. And we think that person should deserve it, but I don't deserve it. And it really comes with an internal love and self-respect for yourself. And if you guys don't have that, you need to start developing it. And I can't really have the time to get into the details of how to do that, but start feeding your mind with the right things. Get rid of the unhealthy friends in your life. Get rid of the unhealthy media or different movies or music, and really put healthy and happy, positive things into your life. And I'll just give you a quick plug for Joe Sweeney, the MC for the night. Joe's like the most positive guy, and I just love being around him. And some of you guys know him from my blog because I've posted a couple of his blog posts. And he's got a blog. When I put the video up for this event, I'll post your blog. And he is incredible. So if you guys, even tonight, I'm going to put him on the spot, but if you're feeling down or if you have negative energy or attitude, you love it. Go talk to him, seriously, he'll pump you up. And then last is celebrate small successes. We can look, you guys could see the 3 women here, they lost 50 or more pounds and be like, I only lost 10 pounds, or I can only do 1 push-up. They could do 28 push-ups. Celebrate the small successes, because a lot of small successes will build upon itself and create big change. I've had to do that with my business. I have huge goals in my life. I'm like, wow, I'm wanting to help 1 million moms, and I've helped like 5,000 or 6,000. And I can get down on myself to look at that gap. I'm like, no, I've helped 5,000 or 6,000. And then I could look back at the small little things and try to remind myself how far I've come. And so I encourage you guys to do gratitude journals. Joe and I are big on this. Writing down every day what you're thankful for and what you accomplished for the day. And make that a habit for a while, and then you just have a long list of things every day that you have done, that you're proud of, and that can really help build self-esteem and self-confidence. How's that, Joe? Fantastic. All right. So that's about all I have.